Good morning. I hope you're having a beautiful start to your day. I wanted to come in here and have a bit of a conversation around the kids. All right. So, this is an unprompted live, and I just wanted to do this because I'm hearing a lot of struggles around parenting, around the toughness of raising kids, and the impact that that has on our fitness levels and our ability to be able to constantly be present. And it's tough, right? I totally get this. And so if you're coming into this one live, guys, feel free to let us know. And if you're not, just hashtag replay and we can see that you've watched this on. So let's talk about the idea of having kids and the impact that it has. Because I'm just going to be really honest. Over the course of the last, let's say, year since Atlas came along, our little son, he's now 1 and nearly 3/4 years or something along that, right? As soon as the second kid come along, I'm going to say the shit in my life hit the fan. Like it was really tough. And if I think about that, if I'm really super honest about that, the reason is because I think that my wife took a lot of the load. Shout out to my beautiful wife. It's her birthday today, 41 today. It was like literally when the first kiddo came, she took the majority of the load. She really did. And so when it became one all of a sudden, there was no hiding from dad, right? There was no like, I'll take kids, two of them. She has a business to run. She's got a family to run. And I know what a lot of the women are like in our families. They are the head honchos. They're the ones that do all the work. And so there was no hiding, and I needed to step up as a man. The last probably 6 to 12 months in my life have just been super freaking challenging. Super challenging. And I know they are for you too if you have kids. And here's the reason I know it is because when guys and girls apply to join our program, many of you do so with this feeling of like embarrassment. It's embarrassment. Why am I needing to ask for help? I mean, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why do I need to ask for help? Ugh. And it's a trait that we see so often in men where they're struggling, but they don't want to put their hand up, right? They're just like, no, I'm not going to ask for help. And in the process of not asking for help, what ends up happening is they dig themselves a deeper hole. And perhaps you might think that someone who appears to have their shit together on the surface is judging you. I just want to make it completely known. I'm not fucking judging you at all. I understand that as a parent, our job is to raise our kids, to give them everything they need. So I am not judging you at all. I'm not judging you about gaining weight. I'm not judging you about the struggles that you're having. I'm not judging you around the excuses that you're coming up with. In fact, a lot of coaches will say to you things like, that's a bullshit excuse. Or they'll say things to you like, or you'll say things to us like, hey, I know this is just a bullshit excuse and I've just got to man up and do it. I don't necessarily think that that is true. I think there's a reality to this. It is so freaking hard. It's so freaking hard. Surviving on 4 hours of broken night sleep. You don't want to let your family down. You don't want to let your health down. And sometimes you're just unable to be perfect. And so I think it's a better conversation to come up and talk about this. And firstly, come from a place of compassion and understanding. The reason that we created our program in the first place was because what we wanted to do was, instead of just saying, you need to follow this plan and you need to do this and you need to do that, instead, what we were trying to do is show people that it doesn't take you 17 hours a week to get your health into shape. It does not take that. And if it did take that, the vast majority of the world would be overweight and it wouldn't work out for you. It takes literally 1, 2, or 3 hours a week. And the key question that I feel is worth asking yourself is this: are your kids going to be the reason that you get in shape, or are they going to be the excuse? Are they going to be the reason, or are they going to be the excuse? And so the challenge is, if you accept that it's impossible for you to be both busy and healthy, if you accept that that is an impossible thing to happen, you're also teaching that to your kids. You're teaching them that mum and dad have decided or have come to the conclusion that it's impossible to be both healthy and shape and to be a good parent. You have to make a choice between the two. And I personally think that this is very, very dangerous territory to go down because I don't think it's necessary. So the better question to ask is, there are mums and dads out there that have 3, 4, 5, 10 kids that are making it work. What is it that those people are doing? And I can tell you that this is the number one thing. They are not operating in this black and white mode, this pass-fail paradigm. I think this is the biggest killer of people, of parents. They think that they need to be perfect in order to make progress. If I'm not getting to the gym 4 times a week, it's just not worth it. Why bother? If I'm not perfect in my eating and tracking my calories every day, it's not worth it. Why bother? That perfection, look, we should certainly strive to do as best we can. But if every time we're not 10 out of 10, we just decide to quit, then that's like the highest level of self-sabotage. We need to be able to just say that some days we're going to drop the ball. And it's completely fine to drop the ball. But if dropping the ball means that you just flick your transformation totally, would you do that in your relationships? Would you do that in your work? Why would you do it in your fitness? Imagine that as soon as times got a bit challenging in your marriage or your relationship, you just said, you know what, fuck this, I'm out. Or imagine that the moment things got difficult at your work or in your business, you just said, fuck this is stupid, I'm out. There is a level of friction that happens in life. Otherwise, everyone would be healthy with beautiful 6-packs. And that's certainly not the case. And I'll be the first to put my hand up and talk about my own complete imperfections. But what I'm able to do is emotionally, I'm able to bounce back from having a fucking tough day. I'm able to bounce back and say, you know what? I'm a completely imperfect human, and that's okay. I'm able to have a week where I just completely mess it up and say, you know what? I fucked up. I'm going to start again tomorrow. That is how you transform. It's not about being perfect. It's about being accountable. And there's a major, major difference. Like, tape that on the back of your eyelids. It's not about being perfect. It's about being accountable. And what accountable means is that when you feel you're at that point where you've kind of gone a couple of weeks and you've fallen off track, rather than sitting in your own sorrow, you put your hand up and you say, I just fell off track. Because the moment you become aware is the moment that you've just broken the pattern. And every single occasion that you're able to break the pattern and break the pattern and break the pattern, you allow yourself permission to get back on track again. So my message for you today is just have a little bit of compassion. Don't be so fixated on this need to be perfect, because if that's your absolute goal, I need to be perfect or it's not going to work, well, guess what? You might as well just let yourself get fat and overweight right now. Because the truth is, it is impossible to be perfect in this. And that is never the goal. It's not the goal in your relationship. It's not the goal in your business. It's not the goal in your work. And nor should it be the goal in your fitness. It should be to have some fun, to be active with the family. You gotta cook dinner. You got 2 choices. You can cook a really shitty dinner, or you can cook a somewhat healthy dinner and give yourself less treats and make them more of an occasional thing. It isn't actually rocket science when you step back and look at it from the outside, But sometimes when we're in a transformation program, or when we're in a little health kick, we're so far in, so close into the trees that we can't realize that, dude, like, I just got to take the pressure off myself a little bit. So some words of wisdom today. Hopefully this has been helpful. I'll see you guys on the flip.